Alright guys, today we're going to talk about how to make the legs of our pegboard. You might want to have your instructions set in front of you as you watch this video. It might be useful to pause and go back and read while you're building your leg. So essentially what we're going to do here is build one leg, save it as its own part file, and then we'll go ahead and pull it into this assembly file for the other leg on the left hand side. So before you get started with making your leg, you need to make sure you have the following steps done. You've got your pegboard base made with your round peg and your square peg constrained to both the Z and X axis and freely moving only on the Y axis. Once you've gotten that done, you're ready to go ahead and start making your legs. So what we're going to do first is come up here to the Create button. We're going to select Create, and you'll just call your part End. I'll call mine N2 because I've got a couple of parts already made. Go ahead and make sure you save this to your H drive so that only you have access to it, and select OK. Then you're going to need to select which face of the object you want to sketch your leg on, and it's going to be this front face right here. And once you select that, it should turn your pegboard translucent. Once you're translucent, if you read the directions say that you need to select the draw panel and then select project geometry. However, we in this version of Inventor don't seem to have a draw panel, but we do have the sketch panel, which is the same thing. They must have just changed the name. So select the front part of your object, come here right to this rectangle where you want to draw, right click, and we're going to select New Sketch. Then we just need to choose the work plane we want to work on, and obviously since we're working on the YX plane here, we want to select that same plane from these three options. So we do not want this one here. The YX one is the one we want to select, and it should turn your object so that you can see it face on. The next step is to project our geometry, so we're going to come up here and select the Project Geometry tool so that we know we're just sketching on this face right here. Go ahead and click it, and once you move your cursor away, you should notice that that face is highlighted. You can right click and select OK. Now we're just going to build our leg. Sort of just sketch it easily, and then we'll go back and dimension it in a minute. So we're going to use a line function, and we're just going to go ahead and sketch out what our leg looks like in the directions given to us. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but your line should be pretty straight, and they should connect to the actual pegboard. So once you've got a leg, we'll go ahead and dimension it now. We'll select the dimension tool, and most of the time we've been dimensioning, we've dimensioned one line, and we've dimensioned two lines that are, obviously pretty close together. To start with this, we're going to need to dimension this line and this line in reference to the end of the pegboard. So go ahead and just select this line here, the end of your pegboard, pull that up, and that's going to be a measurement of 0.375. And we'll do the same thing to the bottom of the leg down here. Again, 0.375. Okay, those are now equal distances from the end of the pegboard. The top of the pegboard, the width is going to be 0.750. By changing that, it'll automatically change the bottom to the same. And then the last dimension we need to input is the height of our leg, and that dimension is not given to us in the written instructions. We just need to make sure that we make it long enough so that the pegs drop all the way through the pegboard. So I'm going to go ahead and just make this one 6 inches, which should be more than enough to allow those pegs to drop through. So once you've done all that, you've made at least your two-dimensional sketch of your leg, and we just need to take that two-dimensional sketch and extrude it into a three-dimensional object. So we're going to come up here and finish our sketch, and this should be pretty basic for you. We're just going to extrude that leg out so that it's now 3 dimensions. So go ahead and select the extrude function, and then select your leg, which is what you want to extrude. And you'll notice that initially it's going to want to extrude it towards you on the Z-axis, which is not what we want to do. So what we're going to do is change the direction of that extrusion, and then we can go ahead and change the dimension of it to 3 inches, and select Enter, and you'll notice that we now have a nice leg which has been built. Couple of problems we have here now is that the main portion of my pegboard is still translucent. That's an easy fix. You're just going to go off the shape, right click, and finish the edit. Now you can see that my pegs will move on the y-axis, and I have a nice one-legged pegboard, which unfortunately is not what I want. I want a two-legged pegboard, but that's an easy fix. We don't have to go back and redraw all those steps. All we need to do is go ahead and open up this other leg. All right, so we'll just go here to place, and we're going to find our end piece. So let's see here. I'm just going to type in open search, cancel, add to list, delete, close. I just got to find my end piece here. I don't really remember where I saved it. There it is. So we're going to select our end piece here. Should be pretty easy to find. You should have saved it on the H drive. So you're going to go ahead and open that up and place it into your assembly. And now, as you can see, it's not linked up to our pegboard, so we need to attach that, and we're going to do that by using some constraints. So the first thing we're going to do is constrain here to here, which turns it around. And then we need to flush constraint. Oops, excuse me. We're going to go ahead and apply that. Now we need to constrain these two to line it up. And you will notice that we now have a nice pegboard made. So that is how you go about adding in your pegboard legs, building them and making them. If you have any questions in class, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Have a good day and good luck with